Why the Me-262 didn't change the course of World War II. It was meant to be a revolution, a weapon of vengeance, a symbol of Nazi engineering superiority. The Me-262, the world's first operational jet fighter, it could fly at 540 miles per hour, faster than anything the Allies had, fast enough to shred a B-17 before it dropped a single bomb. It appeared dash, but changed nothing. By 1944, Germany was losing the skies. Hundreds of Allied bombers scorched its cities by day and by night. The Luftwaffe, exhausted. Pilots, dead or training teenagers. Fuel, gone. And the front, closing in on Berlin. And then, in July 1944, on an airstrip in Lechfeld, a machine took off. A jet fighter that could have turned everything around. The Me-262A1A, Schwalbe, the Swallow. The project had started back in 1938 under the direction of Willy Messerschmitt. He believed the propeller's era was over, but Berlin didn't. The first prototype flew with a piston engine. Jet engines, the Jumo 004, arrived later and brought a storm of problems. Engines overheated, burned out in under 25 flight hours. They were fragile, expensive, and couldn't handle high stress. Push them too hard, and they exploded. Still, the Me-262 flew, faster than any Mustang, armed with 430mm Mk-108 cannons. One burst, and a heavy bomber vanished in midair. But then, Hitler. He wanted a bomber. He didn't want a fighter. Still obsessed with blitzkrieg, he ordered the Me-262 to carry bombs, to strike tanks and troops. And so came the Sturmvogel, a ground attack version, heavy and slower. Its advantage, gone. Engineers begged, let it fight in the air, let it stop the bombers, let it defend the factories. But time was slipping away. While Berlin argued, Allied bombers kept flying. Factories burned, runways crumbled, supply lines broke. By the time jet squadrons were finally ready, in October 1944, it was too late. There were few jets, barely 300 combat-ready aircraft by early 1945. Fuel, rationed, training, minimal. Many pilots had never flown a jet before. Yet, when the Me-262 took flight, it was devastating. They downed bombers in waves, flew above Allied escorts, untouchable for a moment. But takeoff was a death sentence. They were hunted by P-51 Mustangs, waited for on the ground, ambushed mid-runway. The Me-262 wasn't defeated in the air, it died on the tarmac. This plane held the future, but it arrived at a moment when Germany had already lost the present. If it had come in 1943, if it had been mass-produced earlier, if it had been used as a fighter from the start, could it have changed the war? Let's look at the full story. The Reich is collapsing. On paper, the Luftwaffe has a jet fighter. In reality, chaos. Me-262s were being built, but slowly. The main plant in Augsburg was bombed. Production moved underground, to Zirndorf. But parts ran short, engines arrived untested, and 4 out of 10 were defective. By the war's end, Germany had built 1,433 Me-262s. Only about 300 made it to combat. Most never left the ground. Jagdgeschwader JG Schuh, was the world's first operational jet fighter wing. Its pilots included Ace Adolf Galland-Dasch, one of Hitler's fiercest critics. Galland knew this plane had to hunt bombers, not drop bombs. Another commander, Kurt Welter, used the Me-262 for night intercepts, tearing through British Lancasters with brutal precision. But there were too few like him. Pilot training? A disaster. Some got just 25 to 30 hours. No simulators, no time. Most had flown piston-powered Bf-109s, and now had to tame a jet. Many died before their first landing. Allied tactics adapted fast. Mustangs circled known airfields, waited for Me-262S to take off. Slow, exposed. In March 1945 alone, Germany lost 28 Me-262s. 22 were destroyed during takeoff or landing. The Luftwaffe's fatal flaw wasn't technology, it was logistics. They had jets, but no fuel, no instructors, not even brake pads. Erhard Milch, head of the Nazi Air Ministry, tried to save the jet program, but bureaucracy, SS pressure, and Hitler's delusions crushed everything. By May 1945, Germany had fewer than 80 functional Me-262s, barely 20 could fly. The Me-262 became a symbol, not of power, but of potential wasted. The Allies took notice. Operation Watson's Whizzers was launched by the U.S. to capture as many jets as possible. Over 40 Me-262s were shipped to America, others to Britain, one to the Soviet Union. They were studied, copied, measured down to the rivet. The F-86 Sabre, the Gloucester Meteor, the MiG-9, even early MiG-15s, they all trace back to the Me-262. This fighter lost the war, but won the future. It didn't save the Reich, didn't stop the Allies, didn't change 1945, but it shaped 1950 and everything after. Too fast, too advanced, too late. The Me-262-, a victory for engineering and a failure of command.